The Biology Study Program, part of the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, has been established since 1998. The Biology Study Program has established itself as a leading program, demonstrated by the consistently high number of applicants each year. The Biology Study Program envisions becoming a center for education and research in biology, with a focus on biodiversity and conservation. This vision is realized through its mission to carry out education, research, and community service to produce outstanding human resources capable of exploring, conserving, and utilizing biodiversity for human well-being. The lecturers of the Biology Study Program are highly skilled experts in their respective fields. Their expertise is categorized into 4 main clusters: animal science, plant science, biochemistry and molecular biology, and microbiology. 4 fields form the core focus of research and learning in the Biology Study Program, equipping students with a strong foundation of knowledge and practical skills applicable to their respective disciplines in everyday life. Furthermore, these fields have significantly contributed to the program's recognition as one of the top study programs, as evidenced by its outstanding achievements in publications. The specific expertise of the lecturers in the Biology Study Program is also shared through internal training activities, organized as part of in-house training sessions. These activities aim to prepare students and graduates of the Biology Study Program to face the challenges of advancing scientific developments. They provide students with specific knowledge and skills related to particular areas of expertise. In addition to internal training, the Biology Study Program regularly invites and collaborates with universities, industries, and relevant institutions to share information and expertise through learning and research activities, both nationally and internationally. The partners include National Research and Innovation Agency, University Technology Malaysia, Taipei Medical University Taiwan, Kahati, and many more. The management of research and learning activities is evaluated annually to ensure quality, which has led to the program being recognized as an outstanding study program through national accreditation and as an internationally accredited program based on ASEAN recognition. Lecturers and students of the Biology Study Program consistently engage in community service activities across diverse regions. The Biology Study Program has achieved numerous accomplishments in both academic and non-academic competitions, such as student creativity programs, biology Olympiads, and more.
The Biology Education Study Program is one of the study programs that produce prospective biology teachers in Indonesia. The Biology Education Study Program at Universitas Negeri Jakarta was established in 1984. The vision: organizing research-based biology learning and superior digital technology at the global level. The mission: first, organizing biology education based on research and digital technology. The second, carrying out research and service in the biology education field oriented towards community empowerment. The third, carry out quality, sustainable national and international cooperation and impact the development of the quality of education. The Biology Education Study Program has been nationally accredited with an excellent rating by BAN-PT and internationally accredited by ASEAN as a Level 6 program of the European Qualification Framework for lifelong learning until September 2028. The Biology Education Study Program at Universitas Negeri Jakarta provide various facilities to support teaching, learning, research, and student competencies development.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Selamat datang di tahun 2025. Selamat datang di kampus kami, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Kami, Program Studi Magister Pendidikan Biologi FMIPA UNJ, siap menerima para mahasiswa di tahun akademik 2025-2026 untuk belajar di tingkat level Magister bidang pendidikan biologi. Magister Pendidikan Biologi sudah terakreditasi BAN PT dan akreditasi internasional ASIN. Kegiatan akademik di program Magister Pendidikan Biologi meliputi kegiatan perkuliahan klasikal, praktek di dalam laboratorium, lapangan, serta kegiatan mobilitas internasional. Kami sudah bekerjasama dengan beberapa perguruan tinggi dan lembaga tingkat internasional untuk bersama-sama mengembangkan kegiatan dan kualitas akademik bagi para mahasiswa kami.
Assalamualaikum Prof. Zunita. Good morning.
Waalaikumsalam. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. How are you, Prof?
Alhamdulillah. How's everyone?
Yes. Welcome, Prof.
Terima
Our
kasih.
webinar will start at 8 a.m.
Okay,
Jakarta
sure.
time.
So you can hear me well, right? Can
Uh,
can 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 I just try and share my slides? Is it that Microsoft PowerPoint, or should I share the entire screen?
uh,
Does this work?
yes, it's
This one work?
already viewed. It's already worked.
Okay. So so I'll just use this one afterwards.
di program studi Pendidikan Matematika FMIPA UNJ. Sejarah Prodi Pendidikan Matematika berawal sejak tahun 70-an. Saat itu Universitas Negeri Jakarta bernama IKIP Jakarta dan menjadi bagian dari Universitas Indonesia. Saat ini, Prodi Pendidikan Matematika berada di bawah naungan Fakultas Matematika dan Ilmu Pengetahuan Alam UNJ. Prodi Pendidikan Matematika ingin menghasilkan lulusan sebagai pendidik di bidang matematika, peneliti di bidang pendidikan matematika, dan entrepreneur di bidang pendidikan matematika. Prodi Pendidikan Matematika berkomitmen untuk mengembangkan kompetensi lulusan yang unggul seperti yang tercantum dalam program Learning Outcomes yang terdiri dari kompetensi sosial dan kompetensi khusus. Di program studi Pendidikan Matematika, kalian bisa belajar di ruang kuliah yang nyaman, yang ber-AC, yang terletak di lantai 5 dan 6 gedung Raden Dewi Sartika kampus HUNJ. Masing-masing ruang kuliah dilengkapi dengan layar LED TV untuk media pembelajaran. Selain itu, mahasiswa juga dapat memperoleh referensi berupa buku, teks skripsi, jurnal yang terdapat di ruang baca Fakultas Matematika dan Ilmu Pengetahuan Alam. Koleksi buku ini cukup besar dan dapat dipinjamkan kepada mahasiswa sebagai bahan belajarnya. Pendidikan Matematika juga memiliki 2 ruang sidang. Yang pertama, ruang sidang terbuka dengan kapasitas 100 orang terdapat di lantai 6 Gedung Hasyim Asy'ari. Yang kedua, ruang sidang tertutup dengan kapasitas 10 orang terdapat di lantai 6 Gedung Raden Dewi Sartika. Adapun program MBKM Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka di Prodi Matematika memberikan kesempatan kepada mahasiswa untuk mengikuti kegiatan pertukaran belajar, magang di industri, dan juga kuliah di kampus-kampus internasional dengan ISMA. Jadi, saya anjurkan kepada semua mahasiswa untuk memanfaatkan kesempatan MBKM ini untuk menambah pengalamannya, memperkaya kompetensinya dengan aktif mengikuti berbagai program yang ditawarkan oleh Prodi Pendidikan Matematika.
Program studi Pendidikan Matematika dan program studi lainnya di Rumpun Matematika FMIPA UNJ memiliki laboratorium komputer yang berfungsi untuk pembelajaran, penelitian, dan layanan masyarakat. Lab komputer ini terbagi menjadi 5 lab, yaitu 3 lab dasar dan 2 lab lanjutan. Laboratorium ini berada di lantai 5 Gedung Raden Dewi Sartika. Selain lab komputer, terdapat juga laboratorium riset yang digunakan oleh mahasiswa dan dosen untuk keperluan penelitian. Lab riset mahasiswa memiliki 6 unit komputer untuk penelitian mahasiswa dari rumpun matematika. Sedangkan lab riset dosen memiliki 9 unit komputer yang dapat digunakan oleh dosen se-FMIPA UNJ. Untuk menunjang pembelajaran di program studi Pendidikan Matematika, tersedia juga laboratorium workshop matematika. Selain pembelajaran, ruangan ini juga digunakan untuk mengembangkan alat peraga untuk pembelajaran matematika tingkat SD, SMP, hingga SMA. Terdapat 2 lab workshop matematika, yaitu di lantai 4 Gedung Hasyim Asy'ari, Kampus A UNJ, dan Kampus B UNJ.
Selamat datang di perjalanan menuju kesuksesan bersama program studi Statistika Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Kami menawarkan keunggulan pertumbuhan strategis di tengah pusat kegiatan ekonomi, pendidikan, dan teknologi. Dikelilingi berbagai institusi nasional dan perusahaan terkemuka membuka beragam peluang kolaborasi dan pengalaman belajar yang nyata.
Program Studi Statistika Universitas Negeri Jakarta mulai menerima mahasiswa pada semester ganjil tahun akademik 2017-2018. Prodi Statistika UNJ memiliki visi untuk mengembangkan statistika dalam bidang sains data, pemodelan statistika, serta mengaplikasikannya pada bidang kependidikan, sains, teknologi, sosial ekonomi, serta humaniora. Saat ini, Prodi Statistika UNJ telah terakreditasi Lamsama dengan predikat baik sekali. Kurikulum di Prodi Statistika UNJ disusun dengan mengacu silabus minimal dari Forum Pendidikan Tinggi Statistika Indonesia atau Forstat, serta stakeholder baik instansi negeri maupun swasta.
Statistika UNJ, jujur.
Lulusan Statistika UNJ dipersiapkan menjadi seorang data scientist, data analyst, dan researchers. Kurikulum dikembangkan berdasarkan komponen keterampilan abad 21, outcome-based education, dan literasi digital. Setiap dosen memiliki kompetensi yang handal di bidang statistical modeling, environmental statistics, stochastic process, multi-level data modeling, time series modeling, multivariate statistics, computational statistics, spatial statistics, dan machine learning. Program studi statistika UNJ dilengkapi dengan ruang belajar yang nyaman, laboratorium, dan perangkat lunak statistik terkini. Bekerja sama dengan instansi pemerintah dan perusahaan swasta untuk memberikan pengalaman kerja dan kompetensi yang relevan sesuai kebutuhan industri. Kami berkontribusi sebagai pengelola jurnal terakreditasi SIMPA, Jurnal Statistika dan Aplikasinya. Alumni kami telah berkontribusi sesuai dengan kompetensi lulusan yang diharapkan. Prestasi akademik dan non-akademik telah teraih mulai dari tingkat lokal hingga internasional. Suasana akademik yang kondusif dan hangat terjalin antara dosen dan mahasiswa, dan antar mahasiswa. Bersama kami, jadilah statistisi masa depan yang berperan aktif dalam memberikan solusi berbasis data untuk Indonesia.
Greetings in mathematics. Welcome to the Mathematics Study Program at Jakarta State University. The Mathematics Study Program is one of 10 study programs at the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, Jakarta State University. The Mathematics Study Program has a vision, mission, and goals that support the implementation of lectures. Vision: to be a study program that produces graduates who are able to compete at the ASEAN level, have a high academic culture, are actively involved in the scientific community, have entrepreneurial and religious abilities. Mission: 1. Organizing effective, efficient educational and teaching activities in a conducive, responsible, accountable, and transparent academic atmosphere to produce mathematics graduates who are able to compete at the ASEAN level. 2. Carrying out research activities in the field of mathematics and its applications. 3. Organizing community service activities related to mathematics and the application of science and technology. 4. Creating a high academic culture, fostering entrepreneurial abilities, and creating a religious atmosphere in every academic and non-academic activity. 5. establish communication and cooperation with institutions both at home and abroad that are related to the development and use of mathematics. And these are our goals. The Mathematics Study Program has facilities that support lecture activities for the academic community. The first is the lecture room. The Mathematics Study Program has a lecture room which is used for Mathematics Study Program students to study and support their lectures. An LED TV is also provided which is used as a presentation medium in class. Second, there's a library. Apart from that, there's also a library room which is used by Mathematics Study Program students to look for journals and use them to find references to support their lectures. There are two libraries which can be visited by Mathematics Study Program students. The first is the main library managed by the university, and the second is the library located within the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science at Jakarta State University Environment, which is located on the first floor of the Hashim Ash'ari Building, Campus A, Jakarta State University. The third is a laboratory used by Mathematics Study Program students to conduct lectures. The fourth is the lecturer's room. The Mathematics Study Program also has a lecturer's room, and this room also facilitates students who want to consult with their lecturers. The Mathematics Study Program has a student government structure, namely the Mathematics Study Program Student Executive Body, and also the legislative body for the Mathematics Study Program students. The Mathematics Study Program also has several achievements, not only in the academic field but also in the non-academic field achieved by the students of the Mathematics Study Program. With a quality academic community and adequate facilities and infrastructure, the Mathematics Study Program can work together to develop the country and become a reputable study program in the Asian region. For Mathematics Study Program, Mathematics greetings.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. And good morning to all of our distinguished guests, our speaker, moderator, lecturers, and all of the participants joining us today. Welcome to our web seminar or webinar, and we are truly delighted to have all of you in here. And allow me, Tracy Adriana Sianipar, as Master of Ceremony, to officially begin today's event. We really hope the session will run smoothly and bring very valuable insight for everyone involved. Our web seminar today will have the main theme of understanding and implementing ISO or IEC 17025 at a university with our dearest moderator, Ms. Vina Rizkawati, Magister of Science from Biology Universitas Negeri Jakarta, and our main speaker, Professor Junita Zakaria from the Institute of Bioscience and Faculty of Veterinary Medicine from University Putra, Malaysia. For the rundown of our today's webinar, we will have the opening for Zoom for audience as we previously watched, and then the webinar opening by me as the master of ceremony. Next, we will have singing the national anthem of Indonesia and Malaysia, and then we have reading the moderator and speaker CV. And the next one we'll have speaker session, Q&A session, and we'll end it up in conclusion. And then we will also give the speaker and moderators electronic certificate. And last but not least, we will also have the closing statement. For the rules for our webinar today, during the event, we will have participants will be kindly request to turn off the microphone and not sharing any screen in our Zoom. Participant also required to fill out the attendance form, and the attendance link will be shared after the presentation session. And also, the attendance link will be closed after the event is over. Now we will have the session of singing together the national anthem of Indonesia and Malaysia, which is Indonesia Raya dan Negara. To our operator, please kindly show the national anthem for Indonesia and Malaysia.
Indonesia,
That includes the national anthem from both countries. For the next session, we will have opening remarks from our dearest Dean of FMIPA UNJ, Dr. Hadi Nasbi, Magister of Science. To Mr. Hadi Nasbi, the place is yours.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, I would like to warmly welcome to our distinguished speaker, Professor Zunita Zakaria from University Putra Malaysia. Thank you for joining us and for your willingness to share your expertise today. And I also warm greeting to our member of faculty, to all participant, lecturer, teacher, student, public participants who are joining this webinar from Indonesia and abroad. Today's topic is understanding and implementing ISO IEC 17025 at university. Is very important for improving the quality, competence, and credibility of laboratories in both education and research. This knowledge will help us to achieve higher standard and strengthen our global reputation. On behalf of the Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, Universitas Negeri Jakarta, I wish you all fruitful discussion and meaningful learning experience. With that, I officially open the live international webinar series 2. Thank you and enjoy the webinar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And for the next session, we will have the presentation for the curriculum vitae or CV for our today's moderator, Ms. Vina Rizkawati. Our moderators today will be from biological faculty from Biology, Universitas Negeri Jakarta, Ms. Vina Rizkawati, Magister of Science. Ms. Vina Rizkawati has been a lecturer for bachelor degree, and she also teach a few lectures such as English for biology, ilmu lingkungan, biodiversity and systematics of vertebrae, and so does the practicum. And she also teach a little bit about the introduction about ecology, and also does the practicum, and a few of introduction to horticulture, entomology, ecology of tropical forests, and English for biology course too. As all of us can see, Ms. Vina Rizkawati has been graduate from Universitas Pajajaran for her bachelor degree in 2010 until 2015, and Ms. Vina Rizkawati also graduated both of her master and doctoral degree from Mie University in biology from 2015 until 2023. Ms. Vina Rizkawati also have a little bit and a few more experience in terms of research from the 2021 and until the latest one is from 2024. She also have a lot of experience in terms of volunteer and to become someone who's very much respectful in the society. And we can see here she have a few experience from 2021 until 2024. She also has wrote a lot of articles, especially in terms of scientific articles in journal in the past 5 years. From 2021 until the latest one is from 2025. And for the last 5 years, Ms. Vina Rizkawati also has published a lot of oral scientific journals in seminar or in scientific seminar, as we can see here from 2021, 2019 in Japan. And she also have received a lot of Hakai from the 5 until 10 years ahead. And we can see here from 2022 until 2024. And that's it for the curriculum vitae for our moderators today, Ms. Vina Rizkawati. For the next session, we will read the speaker's curriculum vitae, which will be read by our moderators for today. For Ms. Vina Rizkawati, the place is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Tracy, for your introduction. Okay, firstly, I would like to make sure, is my voice clear enough, Tracy?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you, Tracy. And thank you very much also for having me as moderator today. Good morning, Prof. Zunita Zakaria. How are you, Prof?
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much.
Okay, welcome to Universitas Negeri Jakarta, Professor Zunita. And unfortunately, today through online session in this event, and hopefully we can have offline session, so we can invite you to our university directly, hopefully. And it is also an honor for us to have you in this event. And as MC has introduced, my name is Vina Rizkawati, and I am the lecturer from Biology Department of Universitas Negeri Jakarta. And here, I will be serving you as moderator. Okay, and in this session, you will be hearing the presentation from Professor Zunita Zakaria. But before we get started, I want to take a few minutes of your time to know deeper about our speaker through her CV. So I will share the CV. Okay, thank you very much for sharing the CV. Maybe you can directly go to page 7. Please. Page 7. Okay, so now in this event we have a Professor Zunita Zakaria, and he is now working in Department of a Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, Universitas Putra Malaysia. And her field of specialization in here is about bacteriology and also molecular biology. Okay, her background. So she graduated from below, please. Okay, so she graduated from Bachelor of Science in the field of study microbiology in 1994, and then she got her Master of Science as veterinary microbiology in 1998, and PhD at 2002 in the field of study of veterinary microbiology. Okay, next please. Okay, so for the academic, you can see that she worked in since 1919, yeah, until now. In the present, she is appointed as director in the Institute of Bioscience, University Putra Malaysia. Okay, next please. Okay, so for below more, the research activity mainly is about bacteriology in veterinary medicine, and then the second one, antimicrobial resistance of bacteria causing disease in animals. And lastly, is about biosafety and biosecurity. And she also get a lot of research grant in here. You can see mostly is about microbiology. Okay, below again, yeah, about okay, so many of research grant in here. Okay, the next one, this is as a co-investigator about research grant too, from, I think it's from 2016, yeah, until now. Okay, next please. Okay, and next is about her publication, which was, we can see a lot of lists in here, yeah. Okay, maybe for more detail about Professor Zunita Zakaria, you can search for her identity from her scholar and also her website in University Putra Malaysia. I think that's enough, yeah, for our introduction about Prof. Zunita CV. Thank you very much for showing us the CV. Okay. Okay, now we are moving to our session. Please welcome Professor Zunita, who will be talking about her expertise, which is about understanding and implementing ISO IEC 17,025 at a university. Okay, so Prof. Zunita, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vina. Can everyone see my slide?
Yes, we can see your slide.
Okay, that's very good. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. I'm very happy actually, to be sharing this session with you. So even though, we are not able to meet physically, I guess with the technology that we have now, it's very convenient, for us to exchange knowledge and then also to share experience. So first and foremost, I like to thank Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, Universitas Negeri Jakarta, especially to my dear friend, Professor Dahlia. Thank you very much for the invitation. And of course, thank you very much for Madam Moderator, Ms. Vina, for that very kind introduction. That one is a very comprehensive, introduction of me. But basically, I guess what people know about me now is I'm now the current director for the Institute of Bioscience. And I am also a member at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. So meaning, after I serve my administration post here in the Institute of Bioscience, I will go back and serve the faculty until my retirement day. Okay, and of course, thank you very much, Mr. Dean, Dr. Hadi, and Miss MC, Miss Tracy. Right. So, what we are going to share, more or less like half an hour afterwards, it's to understand and also to know some points on, how to implement ISO 17025 at a university setting, right? So a bit of, where I come from. Okay, so this is the building where I work. Okay, so this is Institute of Bioscience, and it is one of the 20 in Malaysia which has been recognized as the Higher Institution Center of Excellence. And we focus on vaccine and therapeutics in poultry and fish. So if I may, I like also to mix a bit of Malay language and also English. So we develop vaccines, local vaccines for poultry and fish, vaccine dan juga ubat-ubatan untuk ikan dan juga ayam, right? Okay, so a little bit about University Putra Malaysia, which I think it is a very renowned research university here in Malaysia. So it is one of the biggest university, and it is located not that far. If you come from Indonesia and touch down in Kuala Lumpur International Airport, it is about just 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes from the airport. And we have two campuses actually. So the main campus is that 30 minutes far from the airport. And then we also have another campus which is in the east of Malaysia in Borneo, in state of Sarawak. Yeah. And if you can see this slide, let me have this laser pointer, right? And then for academic staff, we are a big university, so we have more than 7,000 staff with 1,800 academic staff. And then number of students is about 28,000 altogether. And then we also have a total of 84 responsibility centers. Okay, we have 15 faculties and then 11 institute, if you can focus here. Yeah. Right, and then these are the names of the faculties, institutes, as well as school. And if you can see here, down here, so this is the Higher Education Center of Excellence, the high COE we call it. So Institute of Bioscience is here. So we have another two high COE located in University Putra, Malaysia. Okay, in terms of ranking, so UPM, of course, I guess like all academic institutions, we we want to be visible, yeah, globally. So in terms of QS ranking, Alhamdulillah, we are at the 134th rank now. And we are also championing 19 subjects, meaning top 200. So agriculture is one of the top 200 subjects. Right, so let us dive in now into the topic that we are going to cover today, right? So the objective of the talk this morning, okay, so is to understand the basics of ISO 17025, and to understand all the classes, as well as to see what are the points, for us at the academic institutions on how it is possible for us to implement. Okay, so for everybody's information, I have led the accreditation of 17025 in UPM way back in 2008. So for now, UPM, at my faculty and also at Institute of Bioscience, we have a total of 24 accredited test methods. Okay, so you might be familiar with the people in this picture. So what I did is that, in order for me to see, the background of UNJ, so I was looking for some information on ISO. Yeah, ISO in UNJ. And I'm not sure how accurate this is, but this is the info that I've gotten from the website, which has been published way back in 2016, stated that UNJ has been successful in getting the certification of ISO 9001 and 2008. So I'm sure UNJ is still maintaining this because, in 2015, they have reviewed. So there is another new latest standard for ISO 9001. So it is 9001 and 2015. And from this newspaper cutting, I was able to find out that there are all these 5 sectors in UNJ have gotten the certification of 9001, 2008. Yeah, so this is in December 2016. So congratulations for that. And what we are looking today is somewhat different. Okay, in Indonesia, and I think in globally, people are very, very well versed or know about ISO 9001. In fact, when we say ISO, people will always think, oh, it's 9001, because it's the most common and the most general ISO that people want to be certified to. Okay, so on this slide, what I'm trying to show to you and hope that you will be able to differentiate, okay, what is 9001 and what is 17025. Okay, so you can see the statement here. So 9001 is a general standard applicable to any organization seeking to improve its overall quality management system. Okay, so that is the definition, okay, applicable to any organization. While 17025, what we are going to look into today, is specifically designed for testing and calibration labs. Okay, and we are going to focus on technical competence. When the work is being done under a very technically sound competency, so meaning the results that we are that is being obtained from those labs are valid. Okay, when I say is valid, meaning nobody is going to dispute if, let's say, the results that you have gotten is negative or positive. Orang tidak akan contest because you have gotten the accreditation with 17025. If it is 9001, is certification. So even the name of the when we have successfully managed to get that ISO is also different. 9001 is certification, 17025 is accreditation. In terms of level, definitely 17025 is higher than 9001. If you ask me why, it's because that it is not only looking into documentation, we are also accredited with our technical competence, meaning pegawai-pegawai, staff-staff di dalam makmal perlu juga mencapai tahap yang minimum, tahap kompetensi yang minimum. So whatever they do in the lab will be audited, will be reviewed, and will be assessed by a third party. Okay, so let us go and look further into that. Okay, so these are the differences. Okay, so if you can see the focus, 9001 is general quality management system, while 17025 is technical competence of the lab. So I think the keyword here you can see is having accurate results and having reliable results, okay, which is very important, extremely important. So like myself, I work, in vaccine development, for disease diagnosis and all. So how do people know, are you doing your diagnosis correctly or otherwise? So if they say my lab is already accredited, people won't question whether the results is valid or otherwise, right? So relationship of 9001 to 17025, okay? So you can see here in 9001, it can be used as a foundation to implement 17025 because 17025 is one level higher and 9001 is here. So if you want to achieve the 17025, so if you have, the one which is lower, it will greatly help you and assist you to achieve your accreditation towards 17025. Right. So kita tengok pula what is ISO IEC 17025. When we hear normally people just say ISO 17025. Where does this IEC comes in? Yeah. So why do they have this IEC? If you see the third point here, so this is the standard itself. Okay, you can see here the logo down here is ISO and IEC because the document was created by by these two organizations. So it's International Organization for Standardization in collaboration with the International Electrotechnical Commission. So they are the one who have developed this. And so this is the main document. And then each country, they will have adopted this and making it into, like for Malaysia, it will be a Malaysian standard. So instead of ISO, IEC 17025, they will have the MS here, Malaysian standards, ISO, IEC 17025. So for Indonesia, I'm not that sure, whether there is an Indonesian standard IS, maybe I'm not that sure. Yeah. But basically the content is, I can say it's 100% similar, only that, some of the extra requirement, if let's say the government itself wants to add in any specific technical requirements, they can do so. Okay, so 17025 is for any organizations that performs testing and calibration. Okay, so if you see here any organization, but it has to be performing any testing or calibration, and for whoever wants to be sure that the results that they are giving out to their customers are reliable in terms of their results. Yeah. So for 17025 now, okay, it is 17025 2017. You can see here, so it is now in the 3rd edition. And now it has been like more than 7 years. So they are reviewing the document. So might be next year we will have ISO IEC 17025 2026 maybe. Yeah. So we have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so what is the big deal? Why do we want to have this? Okay, so these are some of the major points. Okay, of course, we want to ensure the competence of our results that we are churning out from the lab. Yeah, and then of course we want to be very credible. We as the academic institutions doing testing, giving services to, our clients. It can be the public, it can be the industry. So we want to have a credible standing. We want to be internationally recognized. Once we are accredited with 17025, people will recognize us. Yeah, so if any samples which is coming from overseas, for instance, they will look for labs which is accredited to against 17025. And then, of course, we will also be saving cost, because you imagine if we are doing surveillance, not surveillance, maybe outbreak investigation. So we will save cost in retesting. Bila orang tidak percaya dengan kita, so most probably, okay, people will go and send to 2-3 labs. Okay, but if we are accredited, they are very, very comfortable, and they are sure that we are giving out valid results. So they will depend on the results that we have given them. Right. Okay. So how does it benefit customer, on the other side? Okay. So if it is customer, okay, it will be having a peace of mind that we are choosing a technically competent lab to do our testing. We are sure that the lab has a sound quality system. Okay, as I said, 9001 is already embedded in 17025. So once we have 17025, we are sure that the 9001 is already taken care of. Okay, and then the third point here is similar to the benefit to the lab. Yeah, so it avoid expensive retesting. We don't have to send to many labs. Okay, we just choose the ones that is accredited. The fee might be a bit higher, but you avoid the headache and also the retesting of your samples. And then, of course, you are confident, because once you are accredited, they will have a cycle for external auditors to come and assess your competency and your validity of your test results. Right. I hope I'm not that fast. Miss Vina, if I'm going too fast, please stop me.
Yes,
Okay.
boleh.
Right. Okay. So now, these are the key clauses. Okay. So the standard itself, I'm not sure like how many of you are very well versed in 9001. So it's almost similar. Yeah. The booklet is about, I think it's about 30 pages. It's not that thick. It's not like our thesis, but that thin document, it can be interpreted and be used as a standard document globally. Okay. So the key clauses, they have 8. Yeah, 17025, 2015. So I will focus because of the limited time. Yeah, so I will share some of the salient points in clause 6 and 7 because this one is very, very relevant for all of us who is in the lab and doing the testing, right? Okay, so I would like also to introduce to you or maybe some refresher points, for everyone in terms of documentation. So this is the hierarchy or pyramid documentation. I guess if you're implementing 9001 or even, if you're practicing biosecurity in your university, in your lab, you will have all these things. So the pyramid is you should have a policy, and then of course the main procedures, yeah, and then here you will need to have, who is the person in charge, when do you have to do whatever procedure, and where should you do that particular procedure. Yeah, so this is at the level of telling you what to do and all that, right? And then the next document will be the work instructions, or some people call it SOP, standard operating procedure. So this is really telling you how to do what, step by step. Okay. And, this one, we can have like a total of 2 days of training on how to develop a very, very good SOP. Okay. And then, so the last one does not mean that it is not important. Actually, this is also very, very important. And then normally auditors will come and look for your records and also proofs. Yeah. I'm sure, not only in Malaysia, it's also in Indonesia. People normally, whenever there are audits coming, then people will be digging out and looking, trying to complete their records and whatnot. And people will tend to backdate and all that. So it does not work that way for 17025. So whenever you decide to embark into 17025, we have to inculcate the culture, the belief, the way how you do work. You have to record whatever in real time. Yeah, so it's no way that you want to, you do your minute, maybe like a minute mesyuarat, maybe like a month after you have done your mesyuarat. It does not work that way. Ataupun you buat satu ujian dan kemudian mencatatkan ujian tu mungkin esok keesokannya. Or you want to catat guna just a pencil. So those details are very, very important for 17025. And then on this side, you can see, how do we control the records and control the document. Make sure that it's available not only to the top management, not only to Mr. Dean, but it has to be available to all level of the staff. Yeah, up to the lab technician. Okay, and then the correct version being used. Every now and then we'll review our documents. So you have to make sure that the one which is circulating in your university is the correct version. If it is version number 8, so there's no way number 7 version is still circulating. Okay, so obsolete document also have to be taken back. And of course, in the control of document, we will get to know like how we want to take care of these obsolete documents. Do we throw them away? Do we archive and things like that? And then if you decide, because now, people don't like all these hard copies, everything is soft copies. So how do you manage your soft copies? How do you ensure that people don't look into version 6, version 7? Everybody is looking into just the correct version 8. Okay, so this is a very big area in 17025 plus 9001, and I guess for all ISO documentations is very important. Okay, so this shows the difference, between documents and records, So so you can see here, the differences. So records, as I said, once it is written, it is already a record, and it's not possible for you to amend and things like that because it serves as a proof, And you also have to understand the differences between the documents as well as the records, right? And then the other term that we have, we also have to understand in 17025 is the difference between field of testing and scope of testing. Okay, so field of testing, it refers to the broad category. And then the scope of testing, it's a more detailed and specific description. This is one of the examples. So I'm sure, Miss Vina, you are from biology, right? So if let's say this example is for my field, veterinary testing. So perhaps, you will have biology testing. And then below here, I guess, some will overlap with biology testing, biological testing. So bacteriology, microbiology, virology, parasitology, toxicology, and we have here biological here. If under Malaysian standard, scope of testing, we have this. And then you have all these clinical areas as well as the preclinical areas here. So this is not exhaustive. This is just to give you an example of the difference between the field as well as the scope. Okay, so I mentioned just now we are going to focus on two of the clauses. So one is the resource requirements. Okay, let us go into personnel. So personnel maksudnya pekerja-pekerja ataupun staff, So the standard will just give you these 4 sentences. But from these 4 sentences, if you dissect and you interpret, it will show you, what kind of procedure, work instructions, records that you have to have. Okay, contohnya, the lab must have a competent internal and external employees. So when you say the lab must have competent, so how do you make sure that the person is competent? So, if the sentence is like that, so you will have a procedure on determination of staff competency. Okay, so here it also says each job function needs to have proper documentation. So, meaning job description for each and every one. They have to have the education, proper qualification, training. So if let's say, we have a new staff, from just recently graduated and then joined us, how can we make sure that the person is competent to do our test in the lab? So you have to have all the procedures. What kind of training that person to have to undergo? How long do you want to have that person to be trained and all? Competence to perform the lab activities and evaluation. So if you say here the evaluation, you have to have the element of assessment of the competency. So it does not, it is not only enough having the job function for that particular person. So you have to show proof that you have evaluated that person and that person is already competent to conduct this particular test. And then in the lab management pula, so communicate to personnel the duties, responsibilities, and what they are authorized to do. So element of communication, also you have to have the evidence. So is it through meetings? So you have to have the minute. If you are communicating through emails, so you have to have, emails, to your staff. But that element, you also have to show that your staff is also able to, or they have seen, your communication through the email. So there are many ways, but you have to make sure that these things are in place. Yeah. So even though you can see 6.5, only 4 sentences, so you can imagine from my explanation how comprehensive, the preparation has to be in order for us to comply with this clause. Right. So the lab must have procedures. Okay, when the standards say must, so must to wajib. Yeah. So they have, and also the other word is shall, SHALL. So there's wajib juga. So you have to have a procedure and keep records. Okay, when you say is keep records, for 70025, you have to keep for 6 years. Every record that you have to keep for 6 years. So you have to have also a method how you control those records. Okay, so the procedure on determining the competence requirement, selection of personnel, if a person is recently graduated, can you appoint that person as a technical manager, and things like that. Everything to have to be detailed out. Training, you have to plan, every early in the year, you have to show, okay, staff number 1, that person is supposed to be trained in this area, 1, 2, 3. Okay, which month? Okay, where is the money going to come from? Okay, supervision of personnel for a new staff. So you need to have somebody who are supervising. Authorization of personnel, what test method this person is able to do also has to be authorized, and monitoring of competence. Okay, so this is from my own experience. Okay, I have a staff who has been working in the lab 10 years, doing the work day in, day out. But, we still have to show the element that we are monitoring the competence. So how we do is that we asked that staff, to undergo or to do our proficiency testing with other labs outside. Okay, so by doing that and having it recorded, so we are showing proof to our accreditation body that we are monitoring, even though this person is very, very experienced person, we are still monitoring the competence. Yeah. Okay, and then the personnel, we have to have the authorized task for all these things that I've stated here. Yeah. Again, the personnel, yeah. This is normal. In any organization will have the chart, and then the job description. And sebaiknya, this job description is being renewed every year and signed. Yeah, signed by sometimes is the head of the lab, sometimes is the dean. Okay, and then you have to have the competency record, monitoring, and also witnessing. Witnessing means, whenever you are monitoring the competence, so you need to see with your own eyes the person who is monitoring and sign off the competence certificate, we call it, right? And then, once, this is another term, signatory. So whenever we have, the test results out from any test, okay, who can sign? Okay, it cannot be the same person who does the work and he or she sign on his own, cannot. So there are SOPs that will ensure that, another superior person will sign and check for accuracy and validity of the test. So this is one example I'm taking here. This is an extra requirement in Malaysia, stating that, if the test is for veterinary testing, so only these people who meets this criteria will be able to sign. And in Malaysia, for all testing related to animals, so the national authority is our Department of Veterinary Services. Right. So this is also how they monitor. So in Malaysia, another extra requirement, okay, in the standard, they say monitoring competency of the staff, right? But in Malaysia, we have another requirement where orang yang sign tu signatory juga perlu dimonitor. So this is called the continual professional development. So doesn't matter how experienced you are, whether you are professor or not professor, you have to have at least 16 hours a year, CPD points, we call it, yeah, in order for us to be regarded as a competent signatory. Okay, so this one is just giving you example, if let's say you want to implement. Right, and then the next clause is facilities, environmental conditions, right? So whatever environmental condition which will affect the validity of the results has to be also controlled. Contohnya macam if we are working with bacteria, right? So we are keeping the bacteria in -80 freezer. Okay, you have to record, the temperature, if you don't have your data logger, so you have to have a mechanism to have people to go and record, okay, every day, the temperature does not fluctuate, not -80, -60, -20 like that, okay? So whatever is affecting the test results, you have to have the monitoring ability of that. And if let's say it is done off-site here, okay, the lab also have to fulfill the environmental condition. Okay, so if let's say you're doing sampling outside, okay, so you have to make sure that the criteria of sampling is met. Right, okay, so equipment. So this is 6.4. Okay, so whenever we work with equipment, so I guess this one is applicable to, all departments in your faculty, even biology or chemistry. I'm not sure if mathematics you use equipment or not, but, you have, once you are using any scientific equipment, HPLC, PCR machine, anything at all, ELISA machine, you have to have a program for servicing, for calibration, if it is relevant. And it has to be monitored. You have to have a plan and things like that. So this is one of the areas that many labs have challenges, because this one involves money. If a lab do not have enough allocation to do their servicing, for instance, and then on the machine, like a weighing machine, right? So a balance requires maybe like once a year that it is said. Yeah. So in Malaysia, it's about 300 ringgit every time we calibrate a weighing scale. Yeah. But if the time comes and then the lab do not have any allocation to do that, so how do we handle that kind of situation? Yeah, in a lab which is already accredited with 17025. Yeah, so this is one of the areas which, normally if we go and audit, these are the things that many labs are facing quite a challenge time, or to comply with the requirement. So so you have to know your equipment very well. So it goes to, a very, very simple equipment, the micropipette. It is also bound for calibration. It's also bound for servicing. And this is the standard weight. Yeah, this is also need to be calibrated. And this is the biosafety cabinet. So this one is really compulsory. And normally, many of the universities, we are having a centralized kind of servicing or calibration programs for the whole university, because this one also falls under a certain Akta Keselamatan Pekerja. Yeah. So normally universities will be having allocations for this. Okay, so timing is still good. Okay, and then to handle equipment also, you have to have the authorization. Siapa yang boleh gunakan that particular machine. Yeah, and then has to be uniquely identified. Calibration monitoring, I've explained just now. And then, in between the calibration or servicing, let's say, every year you are doing the calibration. Intermediate checks, meaning you have to check on your own. Katalah every 3 months, or you want to do every 6 months. Yeah, so that has also to be in place, because you want to make sure in between your calibration programs, your equipment is fit for use. Okay. If let's say it is not fit for use, meaning, your calibration or sending it out for repair has been shortened. Right. Okay, so 6.5, this is metrological traceability. Okay. Kalau kita tengok ayat sini memang panjang sikit, but what it basically means is that for any test, you need to have your controls. Okay, whenever you have your positive control, your negative control, it has to be traceable from, if you're using, let's say your standard weight, it has to be traceable to any of the SI unit, or if let's say you are doing, like I'm a microbiologist, so we use a lot of control strains. So this is, it has to be traceable, until, the where the source is from. So normally we will purchase that from culture banks. Okay. So this is the primary culture. So it comes from ETCC. And now, of course, like in Malaysia, we have our culture collection unit, and then in Indonesia, you have quite a number of culture collections. So if your national authority is regarding, your culture, that particular culture collection, so meaning you can use those as your controls as well. Okay. Right. So the traceability, it can be, from the, so this is what the World Organization for Animal Health. So this one is particularly for veterinary testing, or from international standard, culture collection centers, I've said just now. Locally recognized depository. So if it is not a culture collection, so if you have another depository which is recognized by your authority, you can do that. So, and then worst case scenario, you can use locally verified materials. But this one, you need to have all the what do you call that? That supporting documents. It is a lot. Yeah. So to save your your worries and all that, it's better for you to use the international standards or culture collection standards centers, or this depository. Okay. It will save you a lot of time. Okay. And then process requirement. So these other things, it is a lot. Yeah. So let me just scan through and see. Okay. So 7.1. Okay, so this is review of request. So let's say pelanggan mahu menghantar ujian untuk kita melakukan ujian. So they have to agree of what kind of test they want us to do. So kena ada macam akad. Okay. Because we, in 70.5, we have to make sure that the customer agrees to what we want to do. Okay, let's say, if we want to do pemencilan bakteria E. coli, okay, menggunakan method ISO contohnya. So they have to agree. You are using ISO method. So they have to sign off saying that, they agree to that. Okay, because for isolation, there are many methods you can use, selective agas and all that, different agas. So the customer has to know. Okay. And then 7.21 is what are the methods that we want to use for our 70.5, also have to be selected carefully. So kalau you tengok here, in the third point here, the lab must. So bila ada must, this is wajib. Verify the method. Okay, publish either regionally, nationally, or internationally. So how do you do this verification? So you have to develop a method and show proof that you have verified. Okay, so that requires also the involvement of competent personnel and things like that. Right. So when I say verification, meaning, if you are using a standard method, ISO method, a BAM method, WOA method, but 722, okay, saying that if let's say tidak ada langsung protokol yang standard yang boleh digunakan, jadi our lab wants to use our own method. Okay, we have developed, an in-house method. Okay, if you do so, you have to validate. When you do validation, okay, it is quite a tedious process because you have to have very, very comprehensive supporting document on how you validate the test. And you have to compare that with the gold standard of that particular test method. Okay, so this is one of the example. Okay, so again, a veterinary testing method. Okay, so the lab should follow WOAH manuals. WOAH manuals means the World Organization for Animal Health manuals. International or regional methods. National method meaning, just now I mentioned about the authority body. So they are able to say, okay, Department of Veterinary Services, they say you use method A for salmonella work. Okay, so we can use. Okay, so you have to select, make careful selection. Okay, and then for in-house, so this is repeating, yeah. So we are also developing some of our in-house methods. So we have to do the validation and we have the protocol that we have to use in order for us to validate. Okay, so these are the things that we have to include in our validation of test method: precision, sensitivity, specificity, limit of detection, as well as robustness. Yeah. Okay, sampling. We have to have proper sampling plan, method, and also the records. Okay, and then some of the examples here, it's, how do you ensure your customers is doing correct sampling? Yeah, so you have to also provide a guideline. So in Malaysia, we have this field guide for submission of veterinary specimens. If you go to a poultry farm, ladang ayam, with 10 houses, yeah. So from which house do you want to take, and for like how many samples from each house? So those are the details that you have to let your people who are doing the sampling know, so that your samples are representative and giving you valid results. Okay. So these are the chapter in the WOA, yeah. And then I guess this handling of test items, I can skip this. This is the forms that you use. Okay, how do you accept your specimens? How do you reject a specimen? And this slide shows you the difference between specimens and samples. Yeah, some places they don't really differentiate. But in purpose for 725, it's very important to differentiate the specimen and sample. So specimen is the whole thing. If let's say you do a postmortem on an animal and then you get an organ, a heart organ, so that is a specimen. But when you take the sample from the heart and do the test, that is called a sample. Okay. So the usage of terms is very, very important. So technical records, yeah. This is also, you need to be traceable. Yeah, and then 7.7, okay, how do we ensure that we are giving out valid results? So these are some of the things that we need to do. You use reference material, and then you can conduct some intermediate test, and then every now and then we need to retest the retained items. Okay, katalah sampel yang telah dijalankan pada bulan 1 dulu. So you take out from your freezer, do retesting, and see whether your test is still working or otherwise. Satu lagi is you do intra-lab or inter-lab comparisons. Okay, you change between your labs and things like that, provided they are doing the same test. Okay. So interlab comparisons, okay, you send, to your colleagues from another university or from the industry. Or proficiency testing, this is what do you call a formal kind of testing. Okay, so you have also proficiency testing providers globally. So for us, for Leptospira, we send it over to Australia for our PT testing, we call it. Yeah, so every 2 years we'll send it over. So ini tidak perlu. Okay, I have 3 minutes more. So this is the results. Yeah, what needs to be included in the results? I'll show you. Okay, so these are the the forms that we used. Okay, so this is very important information for us to make the correct diagnosis and all. Okay, on this side, you can see what are the tests that our clients want us to do. Okay, so you can see also the small space here is the lab use only. So this is where we do our the agreement between the submitter and also to the lab. Okay, so in the lab kita akan check, okay, kita akan semak sama ada the specimen is appropriate, so kita tick yes. Do we have the appropriate test method? Yes. Okay, do we have a competent personnel? Yes. You know, because some special test, you know, maybe like only 2% can go, and then you know, both of them are on holiday, so we cannot do this. Resources, do we have enough resources? And then kalau sini yes, why? Then only we'll be able to proceed with the test. Okay. So this is one of the specimen submission. I do not have the example of the report. Sebenarnya lupa nak masukkan, but then you know the things that it be included in the report will be something which is comprehensive with having all these details and the test method that we have used. Right. So are we ready, you know, to go for 17025? So what's next? So if you you find this very useful, and you know you like to embark, yeah, and try out whether it's you know, where are we, yeah. So the first thing that you need to do is to do a gap analysis. You know, from the standard, you can have a checklist and see, you know, like how many percent you know that will be able for us to go for 7025. Do that gap analysis, and then awareness among the staff and the students, very important, because if you don't have the support from the staff, from the top management, it's difficult for you to move forward. And then I guess, you know, the work, the bulk of the work will be the development of the documentation, and then you have to try out, you know, whether your SOP is working or not, your procedure is working or not, is it that too strict or things like that. Yeah, and then you need to implement, yeah. And then you make the application, you conduct the audits, and then with the management reviews, and then you can apply for the formal accreditation. So we took last time, it took us 1.5 years, but that was like 2008. So I'm sure now, you know, with all the technologies and all that, you know, people can move a bit more faster than this. I guess, you know, the ones I've consulted, they have only they managed to get the accreditation between 1 year and 2 months, right? So for conclusion, so I have 3 conclusions here. Okay, so 7025, it boosts credibility, funding opportunities actually, and then also the quality of culture. And then the benefits of having the 7025, of course, is outweighs the challenges and when it is approached strategically. And then, as I mentioned just now, it requires very strong leadership support. You have to have your trained personnel and also plan well so that, you know, you can implement it systematically. So with that, I thank you very much. So this is our tagline: with knowledge we serve. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Zunita, for addressing this interesting topic. And we have got some insight and enlightenment about ISO 17025. Yeah, and after this, we will have a Q&A session. So anyone who would like to ask a question about presentation of Professor Zunita, please you can raise your hand and deliver your question. And here we also have one question from Professor Dahlia. Would you like to deliver your question directly, maybe, Professor Dahlia?
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Vina, for a very nice moderator. Hi, Prof. Junita. Thank you very much to sharing with us about the certification.
Okay, I would like to ask, in this term, our chemistry laboratory will undergo ISO 70025. Okay, for we will apply in our chemistry and biology laboratory in the scheme of the clean water and use FDAR, one of our instruments. Based on your experiments, what is the strategy for the success of the certification process? Because I see one of the step is making awareness from the staff, from the student, and it's mean a lot of we have to do. So what is your suggestion for us to making it be very fast for our certification? Thank you, Prof. Junita.
Thank you very much, Prof. Dania. So if you can see, the awareness is one of the also very, very important point, right? For your success, to gain that accreditation. So from my experience, what we have done, both at the faculty as well as at the institute, is that we have always a refresher course. Whenever we have new students coming in or we have new staff coming in, we introduce to them our quality manual. So whenever you have your 70025, definitely you have a quality manual, meaning, to show the overview of the accreditation itself. The organization, what kind of test method that they are, what kind of methods that we have and things like that. Every step too is not up to the very detail, but at least the awareness is there. Meaning, people know that our lab is going towards 17025. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Junita. Thank you very much, Miss Vina.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Delia, for the question. Any other question maybe from participants? Okay, in here, I also have some questions. So for the ISO 17025, how long it will be valid to the accredited organization? And the second one, as you mentioned, we need to prepare a lot of documentation, and I can imagine how many documentation that we will have and how to control that all soft copies to be manageable and also available through the system.
Thank you, Ms. Mina. So for question number one is the validity of the accreditation, right? So it depends on your accreditation body in the country. So for Malaysia, we have cycles. Okay, cycle pertama, the first cycle, it will be valid for 5 years. Okay, but in between that 5 years, you'll be audited the first cycle audit for every year, and then the no, katalah we are accredited from 2025. Our certificate is like that, right? So the first audit will come after 12 months, and then again after 1.5 years, and then again after 2 years. Dia berlainan untuk auditnya. Tapi setiap certificate tu kalau di Malaysia adalah 5 tahun. Tetapi sekiranya dalam one of the audit tu, you tidak dapat menutup all the non-conformities. Yeah, so your certificate, your accredited certification will be revoked. Yeah, so you need to check with your accreditation body in Indonesia, what are the cycles like. So the cycle differs from country to country. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's
And, oh yeah,
understandable.
question number 2.
Yeah,
How do
number
we
2, please.
control soft copies? Okay, so I've gone through both of the controls. One is the hard copy, the other one is a copy. For me, I'm still old school. I still prefer the hard copy because if you have the control copy, for instance, your quality manual, you say that you have 3 copies. Okay, so setiap satu copy tu kita akan tahu, oh, this is copy number 1, this is copy number 2. Jadi kalau mau obsolete kan, jadi kita tarik semula yang kita telah bagi kepada satu, kita bagi pada Prof. Dahlia, satu kita bagi pada Dr. Hadi. Ya, kita tahu pada siapa ada benda itu kan. Tetapi with the soft copy, there are methods. Of course, you have to document how you control that. But to me, I still prefer the hard copy. Yeah. But many of the young people, they like the soft copy better. Yeah. I think the soft copy, I think most probably they will be controlling in terms of, definitely it'll be PDF format, everything. And then they will have this watermark. Watermark to make sure that this addition and all that, and then stating that, okay, if you are using this for awareness program, like Prof. Dahlia said just now, you have to clearly state this is for training purposes only. So you have to have those ways lah, how you want to control. Thank you.
So maybe the hard copy is more, how can I say, easier
For
to
me.
control. Yeah.
But for information, I'm also a senior technical auditor, so I go around Malaysia to do audits. Many of the labs, they have already migrated to soft copy, and it works well. It works well. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof. Zunita, for your answer. Any other question maybe from participant? Okay, if there is no further question, I think I would like to summarize a little bit about Prof. Zunita talk. Okay, so ISO or IEC 17025 is different with ISO 9001. Yeah. For 17 or 25, it is more like accreditation. And for ISO 9001 is more like certification. Yeah, and it is the international standard for the competence of testing and calibration laboratory. And it also specify the requirements for a laboratory management system, technical competence, and also its ability to produce valid and also reliable result of the laboratory. And this ISO 17025 is very beneficial for both the organization and also the customer, as it will be a booster for your laboratory credibility, international recognition, assurance of competence, and also can be a cost saving from retesting many times. And also in here, Professor Zunita specifically talked about key clause number 6 and number 7, which was about research requirements and also process requirements. And laboratories accredited to this standard means that they can consistently produce accurate and also reliable tests or calibration results, which is essential for industries like manufacturing, healthcare, and also environmental testing. Okay, once again, thank you very much, Professor Zunita, for your willingness to share your valuable knowledge to all of us here in Universitas Negeri Jakarta. And hopefully we can also start to prepare this accreditation in our university. And lastly, I would like to thank for all of your time, for all participation today, and we hope the discussion were insightful. Then you can find a lot of information which is very valuable in this event. We appreciate everyone's contribution and look forward for the continuing our collaboration. Have a great day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so maybe I will, you will be back with MC, our MC, Tracy, please.
Once again, hello everyone. I'm your MC, Tracy Adriana, and also once again, thank you very much to Miss Fina Rizkawati as the moderator for our webinar today. And of course, first and foremost, thank you so much to Professor Zunita Zakaria. For our next agenda, we will have the symbolic presentation of electronic certificates to both our speaker and moderator. We kindly invite the third vice dean of FMIPA to present the certificate accompanied by me as the master of ceremony.
Thank you very much, Prof. Junita. I hope you will be here, yeah, to have me to our faculty.
Yes, thank you very much for the invitation. It's really my great pleasure.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations for this certificate.
Thank you.
For the operator, we can maybe take a few pictures from Prof. Zunita with the certificate. And Prof. Zunita, please give us your brightest smile. 3, 2, 1. And that concludes this electronic certificate for Professor Zunita. The next one, we will also have the certificate of appreciation for our moderator, Ms. Mina Rizkawati. To Ms. Mina Rizkawati, we will be very glad if you can show us your brightest smile too for our photo session. 3, 2, 1. And thank you very much for Ms. Fina Rizkawati. And so thus, ladies and gentlemen, before we officially close, we would like to inform to all of our participants today that the electronic certificates for the participants, which also a certificate of appreciation, and the further information regarding today's webinar will be accessed via the QR code, which we already shown in the screen, or the link tree that we already share in the comment section or in the chat box. Please scan the QR code or click the link we provide to obtain the certificate and additional materials. And to satisfy further curiosity, please visit our website. In the next slide, well, we also have a website at www.fmipa.unj.academia.id, and also you can visit our Instagram at official_FMIPA Please also maybe click the follow and share button. And you can also rewatch today's webinar on our YouTube channel at FMIPA UNJ. And we will be very happy and very glad if all of the participants today were watching our webinar and hit the subscribe, like, and share button. And wishes that all of that will be concludes our webinar for today. And we would like to sincerely thank you for our speaker, moderator, and all of our most brightest participant for your time and attention for today's webinar. We really hope the knowledge we share today will bring all of you benefit and inspiration. And until we meet again in our next event or our next webinar, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day and thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.